Why did it matter to you guys so much to build a decentralized marketplace? Or why does it matter to you so much when it is clearly not the most efficient way to build it? Like if Amazon was decentralized, it would implode. Right?
Right. Well, I think if you go back to, Satoshi and what he was building in Bitcoin, the very early versions, it actually had an unfinished decentralized marketplace as part of the original code. Right. He had to abandon it and focus on improving other aspects of Bitcoin, but I think that gives us an insight as to what the whole picture should be, which is what is the point of having a decentralized, censorship-resistant currency if you can't engage in commerce in the same way? And it's all achieving the same end, which is nobody can come in and tell you that you can't buy or sell, or the only conditions that you can trade and have commerce with each other are if you do this, believe in that, say this. And so it's fundamentally that belief that ideologically got us motivated to work on OpenBazaar in the first place, and it's just escalated from there.
Do you feel there's a connection between freedom of commerce and freedom of speech?
The idea of freedom of speech is that as a human being, you have a fundamental right to say what you want without being worried that the government will come in and say that's not approved speech and we're going to put you in jail for that. In the same way, if you're engaging in commerce, just two people, and nobody's rights are being violated.
Voluntarily.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's a voluntary exchange, it's peaceful. Then, why are we imposing all of these regulations that benefit certain groups of people, or regulations that are, or deplatforming that is designed to punish you because you have a certain belief?
So in your ideal future, can you describe what the commerce looks like through the work you guys are doing 10 years down the road?
For OpenBazaar, we're embracing the idea that this decentralized marketplace allows anybody to engage and trade, and they can use whatever currency or token that they want.
So you describe a decentralized, censorship-resistant marketplace as pretty much the commerce equivalent of, it is to commerce what Bitcoin is to currency. Yeah. Where else do you see decentralization having an impact in society in a similar fashion?
Well, I think predating Bitcoin, the BitTorrent had a huge effect on just media, the consumption of entertainment, and it lay the groundwork for Netflix, it lay the groundwork for Spotify, and it completely dominates the way that we engage in entertainment and media today, and YouTube. So I think that those technologies really point the way as to what consumer preferences really are, and that just advanced the way that media was consumed. I think in a similar way that we're going to see a response in the industry to cryptocurrencies and marketplaces. But I think unlike BitTorrent, media is kind of soft. When it comes to currency, it's much more serious. And when it comes to marketplaces and commerce, it's more fundamental to surviving.
Yeah. Do you think that the inherent inefficiencies of decentralization will lend more people to be using centralized traditional marketplaces for things that aren't illegal, and that the things that the decentralized marketplaces will kind of end up de facto focused on things that are censored? Or do you think that it's possible to create decentralized marketplaces that are competitive for legal items as well as for illegal items?
I think that's selling short the challenge as technologists and developers that we have to take this technology and invest the time and effort required to create a great user experience, to create a great user interface, and to make these things easier for people. And they can be made easier. That's a thing that a lot of people don't really realize. They can be made easier. It just requires a lot of hard work, a lot of time to sit down and really carefully think about, how do we make this better? How do we make this better than the experience that people find on centralized services?
What is the goal, the end goal, that decentralization is better than anything else at achieving? So that we know, and what do you think potentially has the opportunity maybe compete with that towards that same end goal?
I think ultimately we have to view as decentralization as a means to an end. The means to an end of having self-sovereignty over your data, over the ability not to be deplatformed by some arbitrary rule set that could change on a moment's notice.
Yeah.
It's about having real control over your financial destiny and your ability to speak and express yourself in the way that you want to, provided that it's peaceful and not harming anybody else.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for being here today, for having this conversation. I appreciate your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you.